It's the Bennie Randall Show. It's the Bennie Randall Show. It's the Bennie Randall Show.
Welcome to another edition of the Bennie Randall Show. I'm your host, Bennie Randall Jr., a.k.a. The Motivator. And this powerful show brings you conversations with today's stars and tomorrow's legends. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Come on.
It's the Bennie Randall Show. 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 I love the Bennie Randall. I love the Bennie Randall. I love the Bennie Randall Show. Yeah. I love the Bennie Randall. I love the Bennie Randall. I love the Bennie Randall Show. Yeah.
Hi, I'm your host, Bennie Randall Jr., a.k.a. The Motivator, a.k.a. your business advisor. I'm so glad to have you once again and allow me into your hearts and your homes. And today's show is like no other show, but you can learn more about me at BennieRandall.com, or you can go to brjelite.com. We can help you in many, many different ways. All right. Today's show is like no other show. We got a special guest. Her name is Valerie A. Campbell. She is a conscious dating coach, best-selling author, entrepreneur, co-founder of the Ladies Lounge Media and Events. Valerie specializes in helping women to date with intention, using the God-given feminine energy. She teaches women how to consciously date instead of casually date to achieve their relationship goals by attracting and building lasting relationships with quality masculine men. Based on years of research, direct conversations with men, and discussion with women in successful relationships and marriages, Valerie is able to share her knowledge, experiences, and wisdom. She empowers women to navigate the dating and relationship minefield, attracting their ideal partner with affirming their worth as a queen. With international recognition, Valerie has been featured in Rich Woman's Magazine in Africa. As a presenter, her podcast, The Secret Vibe, is aired on the Bashani Radio app, USA and global. Her Get the Vibe training program and the Ladies Lounge, Valerie supports and empowers women along their journey to achieve relationships they desire. She's a best-selling author. Valerie has authored 2 masterpieces. She's Got That Vibe and The Difference. These insightful books help women understand how to live in their feminine energy, build self-esteem, and connect with men. Both She's Got That Vibe and The Difference are available around the world. Without delay, let's invite the queen in. Her name is Valerie A. Campbell. Good afternoon, Valerie. Thank you for being here on the Bennie Randall Show. How are you doing today?
I am fine, thank you, Bennie Randall Jr., aka The Voice. I'm very good. I'm in London. The sun is shining, and it's all good. It's all good.
I like that. I like that. I mean, you have quite a bio. Let's start off from the beginning. How did you get so interested in helping women achieve better relationships?
Simply because that's what I needed. I needed that advice. And I used to work with over 120 men as the only female, as the only Black female for over 10 years. And it was like, it was a school. I just felt like I'd been thrown in the deep end. I believe it was an answer to a prayer. And those men took me into their confidence. I would ask them questions because even though I was their manager, I was also like their little sister in a way. And, you know, I managed men from diverse communities, diverse backgrounds. And they were just like, when I had a question, just say, really? You don't know that when he says this is what he means? And I just kind of gleaned from them. And then I would pass it on to my girlfriends who had similar problems. And yeah, I just got thrown into it, into the deep end. And then from there, I then wrote my book, She's Got That Vibe, because it's very deeply into my personal development at that time. Because I'm coming from a background where I guess I didn't have, like a father figure as such. I won't go into too much detail as to my background. And so I didn't know how to relate to men in a healthy way. So that's why I had to go to my surrogate brothers, so to speak. And so She's Got That Vibe was born. And from that, I developed the Get That Vibe program. And now I'm here on your show, Benny.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. I often hear that because the only reason I ask you for the background is because a lot of people need to know where you come from to understand how you've gotten here and
Yes,
why it's
yes.
so
In a journey.
and why does it make sense. Speaking on that, without you going, too deep into the past, I just wanted to give them a little taste of it. But
Hmm.
do you think that had a profound effect not having that male figure in your life? Is that what sought you out
Absolutely.
to
I mean,
really seek out that?
yeah, I mean, a father sets the tone. He sets the standard for all men that come into your life in a relationship. I mean, if you have a father that, cherishes you and shows you love, then that is the standard. So any man that comes in, you're going to use him as the measuring stick. But if your father is absent emotionally, or if he's abusive, then that becomes your measuring stick, because that is what you are familiar with. Even though theoretically you can know that it's wrong, but because it's your comfortable zone, you just kind of will always kind of get, even though you try, you'll always be pulled back. So it's a continuing renewal of the mind that will kind of get you out of that familiar zone. So you keep creating more and more comfortable zones until you get there, you get out of that space. But the father figure, that is so important.
That's very, very
Yeah.
powerful. Now,
Hmm.
before we get deep into our topic, which is the feminist movement hurting or helping, um, over the years, how have you been able to, I guess, adjust yourself in such a way where, a lot of people like to say when women don't have a man, they tend to be angry with their, when they didn't have that man in their life, they tend to look for everything else except for why they feel this way. They don't want to show that there was actually hurt and craving that masculine figure. How have you able to be getting past that point to
Well,
where you approach it in such a way where it's welcoming and not angry?
I think like growing up, I didn't know that that's what was missing in my life.
Mm,
Like I said, I prayed about it, and as a Christian woman, I believe in prayer, and I believe that prayer is answered. And I don't think it was by accident that I landed in that classroom, so to speak, of men. And I loved working with my men. I absolutely loved working with them. I loved how their masculine energy kind of bounced off of mine. I worked with two male uh, counterparts, and the way they related to the men were completely different from how I related to them. In fact, I had the ability to get the men to do more than my male counterparts. And so I just feel as if my journey in being placed in that classroom made me really appreciate masculine energy and the importance of having that in the home. I mean, when you think about balance, you have up and down, left and right. You have, darkness and light, yin and yang. You must also have masculine and feminine energy. You must have that balance. So it's interesting that we're talking about this topic today, because I guess, is the feminist movement hurting or helping? It's about that balance. And that's what needs to be addressed.
mhm. Now, let me tell you what sparked this conversation, and then
Mhm.
I sent you a message behind the scenes just to hear what your thoughts were. And you gave me some interesting thoughts, and I believe that this should be shared in the open forum. So For those who understand, is the feminist movement hurting or helping? I want you to take a look at this clip, and then we'll get right to the topic.
The feminist movement is one of the biggest reasons for the divorce rate these days, because women have become so masculine. If a woman gets in her masculine energy, a lot of times she'll be disrespectful to her husband. And men don't do well with disrespect. There's surveys that say that 80% of men say they would rather be alone and unloved than to be disrespected. And see, the feminist movement has taken it so far over the years. It's not just equal rights anymore. Now it's men are being diminished and devalued and demoralized. What do we need men for? We don't need men. We can buy our own cars and we can vote. We can make our own money, run our own businesses. We can even have babies without men. And that makes men feel awful. A man doesn't feel he has anything to contribute to that woman's life. He's got to move on down the road.
Wow. That's a lot to unpack right there, right?
Yes, there is. That is
So I want to ask you, Valerie, what is your thoughts on that? Because some women are gonna see this and be like, yeah, she is right. And then some gonna say, oh, she just in her own zone. She don't understand the plight, et cetera, et cetera.
No, I mean, she makes.
Let me give me your take on that.
Yeah, I mean, she makes some valid points. Now, don't get me wrong. I am all for equal rights. If two people do a job, whether they're male or female, and they do that job up to the standard, they should both get paid the same. And, you know, that's how the feminist movement began. You know, when we look at social, political, you know, just like the economical, you know, time from when that actually stemmed, it was needed. However, I mentioned the word balance. And what we have is women who are in their masculine energy and they don't know that they're in it. You know,
when you say women who are in their masculine energy, what does that mean in layman terms?
Okay, so one of the things that I really noticed in my journey is that women actually don't know that they're in their masculine energy. So there's a law that I teach called the law of sexual polarity. And the law of sexual polarity basically explains that just like you have two magnets, two positive ends or two negative ends, and you push them together, they're going to repel, right? Remember the days of physics. And so we need balance. So women who have to do everything, like they're single parents, they're in the masculine energy, which is doing energy, having to get things get done, competitive energy, giving energy, all of this kind of energy, they take it on. And in the professional world, it works because they have to get things done. They have to keep it moving. So even myself, like, you know, as a single mother, I had to get up, get my daughter ready for school. I'm at the door, drop her off, get to work by a certain time, then manage the men. And then, you know, from there, go to college or go to the gym. Then the whole routine starts all over again. So as women in their masculine energy, they're accustomed to doing. Now, feminine energy is the reverse. It is receiving energy. It's nurturing energy. It's receiving energy. It's softer energy, and it balances the masculine energy. So if you have two masculine energies, like I described the magnets earlier, two masculine energies, like two negative poles coming together or two positive poles coming together, you're going to have that clash. They can't both wear the trousers in the home. Again, it's that balance. You have the pursued or you have the pursuer. There's always the opposite. You can't have too much of one thing in the home. And I think with the feminist movement, it's in the professional world, it works. But when it comes to a personal relationship, a romantic relationship, it doesn't work in that sense.
Now, I've heard women say the feminist movement was created out of men treating women bad. So they felt like they had to stand up for themselves um, when they had no representation per se. Is that true, or what's your thoughts on that?
No, to me, the feminist movement was based on equal rights. That's what it was based on. I mean, like I mentioned, if I went for a job, it should be based on merit if you're doing the same work. But masculine energy and feminine energy are different. There are some things that you can do that I can't do. And when I'm talking about the general, like even if you look at our physique, for example, generally speaking, the masculine, the physical masculine is more, than the woman. So it's about appreciating the differences between the two. And what I don't appreciate is as the woman has more or takes on more masculine traits, she's diminishing the feminine, and it's seeming as if the feminine power is it's making it have less value. And this is what I'm thinking is that's what actually needs to be addressed. Maybe
Wow.
that's what I think a lot of men are complaining about, because masculine men need the feminine energy. In fact, they're craving it. And if again there's that imbalance, if the women are moving too much into their masculine traits.
That's very, very powerful. So she said a couple of things on there. One thing I can tell you, just a man myself, disrespect is very high up on my key. And because I don't feel like I should be disrespected by anyone, whether that's a man or a woman, per se. My question is, do you find women that are in that feminist movement find the need to be disrespectful to men, or what's your thoughts?
Disrespect can come in many forms. It could be, for example, speaking to your man in public in a derogative manner, rather than just pulling him to one side and speaking to him. It comes in like different forms. And to me, a man recognizes respect as love. There's no separation between the two. So if you don't respect me, that means you don't love me. And as women, we appreciate being loved. So, like I think the woman said it in the video, that a man would rather be alone than with a woman who disrespects him. And I think, even you as a man, you can relate to that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because when it comes to me, I give respect.
Yes.
So I'm going to automatically, and no matter who it is, whether it's a woman, man, whatever, I give respect, in no matter any interactions I'm having, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I say that, meaning in a professional environment, whether, you're out and about, I don't have nobody disrespecting me in public or et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm worrying, the whole point of this show is, you as a woman who studies relationships, and you've spoken to a lot of women who have been in successful relationships. Is the feminist movie hurting or helping?
I believe that it's hurting.
Okay.
We've gone past that point where women, it is recognized that women have equal rights. But when we see these negative communication patterns, for example, like what I mentioned, or jealousy and insecurity and the way that it's dealt with, or disrespecting a man's family or his friends, really a woman just trying to take control and boss the man about, because that's what she's accustomed to doing in the workplace. So she's now taking this energy from there into the home, essentially wanting to wear the trousers. And what I found with a lot of women who are in their masculine energy and are completely unaware that they're actually wanting to exhale. They're wanting to just relax when they get home, and just have those shoulders of their masculine companion. However, they're not bringing about an energy of harmony, it's actually causing competition in the home. And a lot of these women, the strong, independent woman doesn't actually realize how that's actually showing up in her behavior. So I found that in coaching women, it's like I have to identify and show them, okay, this is when they tell me a story, it's like, okay, can you see how you've been masculine in this? And then it's like, oh, it's like an eye opener.
Wow. That's very, very powerful. Now, what do your lady friends feel? What are your lady friends, the ones that are just your regular friends? Do you guys have conversations about this? And,
we do have conversations.
I know you know what I'm leading to, but I'm just curious to hear what some of your friends may think about this conversation.
They get it within the context of a relationship, the masculine feminine energy. However, some friends think that male, toxic masculinity, or men being more in their feminine energy, and they're the ones that are accusing the women of being in their masculine energy because they're not masculine enough. So
are you trying to say men have are being
feminized?
Say this word.
Emasculated.
Immaculate. Say it for me, girl, because I can't even. That's a tongue twister for me. But men are becoming more feminine, so then they're reacting in a way that is bringing the women up to be more masculine. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Like you'll find a lot of men. Let me not say a lot of men, but men that are in their feminine traits. Because remember, feminine and masculine energy is not gender-based. It's an energy. We all have feminine and masculine energy.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, masculine energy is doing energy, it's competitive energy, it's given energy, whereas feminine energy is the reverse. And I feel like in today's society, a lot of men are encouraged to be in their feminine energy. And in doing that, they're not then able to deal with a strong black woman. And so she feels like she has to step in and be in that energy so that she can have that balance, but she actually doesn't want to be. Now, the thing is, opposites attract. So the women that I coach who are in their masculine energy, I have to coach them to be in their feminine energy so that they will then naturally and authentically attract the masculine man. So you've got this dynamic that is happening. And I do feel that men, compared to the olden days anyway, I've got a few gray hairs, showed up as more masculine. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Can I read the response of one of your friends that said something? Can I read that?
Yeah, you can, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. She went in, right?
Yeah. She gave me a response of one of her friends, and it said, I actually think that women are more liberated and independent today. They are no longer dependent, submissive, or infantile regarding the power dynamics in relationships with men, be it professional or personally. What men often deem as disrespect may be a woman communicating with them on an equal basis due to the toxic masculinity. Yeah, thank you. Because I have a tongue twist up in here. Men may feel like a fish out of water when they are surrounded by women that they can't dominate, manipulate, or control, especially when they've been brought up to believe that they should dominate and that women are the weaker sex. Obviously, it's not a black and a white situation. And culture also comes into traditionally American professional women are deemed more materialistic, power-driven, and aggressive than European women. I want you to keep that down because I want you that. I want you to defend your friend right here. She said, you don't email me. You can email Valerie. Okay? Valerie, and she'll pass it on to her friend.
I didn't say American ladies.
Yeah. Our friend did, ladies and gentlemen. Traditionally, American professional women are deemed more materialistic, power-driven, and aggressive than European women. Also, one's interpretation of disrespect is highly subjective. There are men who deem a woman answering back to them to be disrespectful or pulling them up on unacceptable behavior to be disrespectful, as in a woman should communicate in a father-daughter infantile manner, whereby women are not regarded as powerful, fully actualized adults with their own minds, capable of freedom of speech and expression. None of this equals conversation needs to be disrespectful. And I can go on, but we probably need to have her on the show. Because she wrote a book. You hear me, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah,
I
she
want
went
to
in.
address
She
the
went
things,
in.
some of the things that she said. Since we only
Well,
got you here, so we're gonna make you stand up.
okay, so she spoke about toxic masculinity. She spoke about Donald
American
Trump.
women.
Yeah, about American women.
Okay.
Because like when we look at videos, when we look at videos on YouTube, we see a lot of, I can't even do it, this neck rolling thing.
YouTube
Right?
is not, let's put this out there right now. YouTube is not a scientific analysis of American women. So let's get
I
that
know.
straight, Miss Valerie Campbell.
They're strong.
If that's the only
women. Yeah.
information you or your counterparts have
No,
to
we don't.
represent or
Not at all.
understanding women, then that's probably not a good
We don't, not at
yeah,
all.
that's not a good fight.
Yeah. But we have this this perception, whether it's correct or it isn't, that European women tend to be more docile. And I'm not talking about I'm talking about Eastern European women, or
Well, I hear
British,
that a lot in
British
Asian women too. I hear that, like Asian
Mhm.
women are the same thing. I'm
Yeah.
not sure, but I
Mhm.
just hear it.
Yeah, from a culture perspective.
Go ahead.
And she also spoke about she put Donald Trump in the same bracket as what's his name? Is it Tate?
Oh, okay. She didn't say anything about Donald Trump, but I'm gonna guess you're reading that.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from politics. I'm
Okay,
staying
yeah,
away
yeah.
from
We'll leave that. We'll leave that
Yeah,
to the
yes.
people on the news. It's just the Bennie Randall Show. We want to talk facts here. Okay?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, she's I mean, as soon as I put that message out, she just responded straight away, because she does have she's a strong woman, and she has her opinions on different subjects. So I knew that she would respond. Let me say positively. But I agree with a lot of what she said. I mean, towards the end, she spoke about the disrespect, and I agree with her. I do agree with her. So yeah, I'll be getting her on the show soon.
Okay.
I'm not
I
gonna
like that. It's like I'm not gonna really say much because she ain't here. So let me.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want her to hear this show and then say, Valerie.
And remember, I have to go back and talk to her after the show.
Yeah,
I have to go talk to her after the show. So let me just back off on that.
Exactly. Especially as I didn't actually get the chance to speak to her verbally, because she's actually quite a busy woman. She just sent the message, and then that was it.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, I did not want to have her in my ear.
So Valerie, let me ask you this: what part of the feminist movement is needed, and what part is not, or none of it is needed?
It's definitely needed. I mean, women in society were strong. Were independent, but the thing is, how independent are you? That's what I'm saying. It has its professional place. But like the woman in the video mentioned, she says, is it causing divorces? I mean, for her, it wasn't even a question. It was like, it is causing divorces. And, in a world where divorce is destigmatized, I would have to say, I believe that women give up on relationships very easy, because that's what's encouraged in society. And do I believe that the feminist movement has something to do with that? Absolutely.
Wow. That's deep. So let me ask you something. Speaking to all of these women who had who have successful relationships that you talked about in your books and stuff, what is the difference you've seen between them? Are they feminists? Are they not feminists? Like, what has been the secret to them having successful relationships?
It's being able to make a distinction between this is me at work. Yes, I have to get things done. I have to meet my deadlines, all of that. But then making distinction between, okay, these women that I coach, they say that they want a masculine partner. So if you want a masculine partner, then in the home or in a relationship, you have to take off that masculine energy coat and you have to allow your femininity to shine through. Because again, it's about them understanding that balance, the yin yang. Masculine attracts feminine, feminine attracts masculine. And the law of sexual polarity dictates the more masculine energy you have, then the more feminine energy that you will attract. So it's a work in progress. So,
Is that the same when women say, I like a man's man,
yeah,
versus, some women would be like, he tries to dominate me. He's always trying to take control. It's like they're saying something different. So keep that in mind, and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Bennie Randall Show. I'm your host, Bennie Randall Jr., aka the business advisor, aka the motivator. And let's hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. If you ain't got the new issue of Annoy magazine with the Shark Tank, what you doing, brother? Do you understand how much knowledge is in here? Yo, we got so many nuggets for you. So if you ain't got the new issue of Annoy magazine with the whole Shark Tank crew on it, you ain't doing business. You play in business. This is for people that's really doing business. Holla back. Okay, you just joining us. You're listening to the Bennie Randall Show. I'm your host, Bennie Randall Jr., aka the Motivator. You can learn more about me at BennieRandall.com, or you can check out this episode and all episodes on BashaniRadio.com, or join us on YouTube at Bennie Randall Jr. All right, and we're having an amazing conversation with Valerie A Campbell, and we're talking about, is the feminist movement hurting or helping? And she's dropping some nuggets. So just in case you just join us in the half hour point, and because this is going good, so we're going to finish this off. Let me just give you a little insight of why this conversation even took place.
The feminist movement is one of the biggest reasons for the divorce rate these days, because women have become so masculine. If a woman gets in her masculine energy, a lot of times she'll be disrespectful to her husband. And men don't do well with disrespect. There's surveys that say that 80% of men say they would rather be alone and unloved than to be disrespected. And see, the feminist movement has taken it so far over the years. It's not just equal rights anymore. Now it's men are being diminished and devalued and demoralized. What do we need men for? We don't need men. We can buy our own cars and we can vote. We can make our own money, run our own businesses. We can even have babies without men. And that makes men feel awful. A man doesn't feel he has anything to contribute to that woman's life. He's got to move on down the road.
Let's talk about a little, Valerie, about she's saying how that movement is making men feel devalued, and how they don't need men to do this and they don't need men to do that. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, because the feminist movement is encouraging masculine traits in women. And so in the marital home, like I mentioned, if those masculine traits are actually now dominating the home, it's going to cause conflict, like over household responsibilities, financial contributions, because both partners are competing for dominance in the home. So when you think about marriage, the whole essence of it is about working as a team. you know. So yeah, it's an issue which I feel like a lot of women are talking about at the moment, because it is causing marriages to suffer, relationships to suffer, because a lot of women don't understand or know when to actually take off that masculine coat and wear their feminine coat. And it's like an undoing process. It's an unlearning process. That ability to be able to differentiate the two and know when to put one on and when to put it off, or switch from, you know, left to right, so to speak.
What have you found to work in your own life? Understanding now, having a better understanding, being a single mom, and the whole scenario. Because it's a different experience. What have you learned about your own selves that you see as a way of helping other women out there? Get beyond how they feel as being a single woman, still being able to have that feminine energy without it turning into something that's angry or et cetera, et cetera. What have you learned?
Yeah, I mean, I guess one of the biggest things I've learned is to just to let go. I don't have to be in control all the time. In my book, I talk about, for example, the delusional relationship. And it's where a woman doesn't allow a relationship to develop organically. And in fact, I've actually got a friend maybe listening in, who actually told me that he went on a date with a woman about 2 or 3 times. And he specifically said to her, I am not in a relationship. We're not in a relationship. We're getting to know each other. And from her perspective, they were in a relationship. So again, you see that attitude of wanting to control. And I guess for me, it was really trying to understand, because as women, from little girls, you want the fairy tale wedding and all of this kind of thing. And you have that urge to hurry things along. And so for me, especially with working with the guys, it was, listen, allow him to lead, allow him to do things for you, and allow yourself to exhale. Because, if a woman starts off in her masculine energy and she is pursuing the man, as women, we need to feel secure. We need that security. We need to feel loved. And if we're in our masculine energy and we're training ourselves, we would have set ourselves up to always be in our masculine energy. So it's about actually just learning just to let go and allow him to lead. And therefore the masculine can then appreciate the feminine.
What do men need to do? Because it takes 2 in a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do men need to do to support their ladies so that they don't feel like that? Because it's not all about the women has taken on this role and they're doing et cetera, et cetera. Men play a role in why that's happening. What do men need to understand, and what they need to do to make that woman feel secure so she can live in her femininity?
Right. Okay. So what you have to understand is we're talking about energies here. So like energy attracts like energy. So as a woman, if you're emitting feminine energy, you are going to attract in men who have got masculine energy. You're going to do that naturally. Let me use another example. For example,
so in other words, when a woman is in her girly,
yes, she will naturally attract the masculine, because masculine. Exactly.
Okay. And does that work the opposite way?
Yes.
How so? Give me an example.
Yeah, so it's not something that a man has to do. Like if he is natural, masculine energy, there's nothing wrong with a man being more in his feminine energy. That's his natural, authentic self. But all I'm saying is that a woman who is in her masculine energy, and the ones that I coach, who actually express, I want a man who is in his masculine energy, then it's okay. What you're saying to me is that this masculine energy that you're carrying, you don't want that. You want to be in your feminine so you can naturally and authentically attract in the masculine, you see. Because Otherwise, if you don't do that, you're going to attract men, and they're going to be saying things to her like, oh, I find you intimidating. You see? So it's about understanding.
Is that because he's feeling her masculine energy? Is that why that's happening?
Yes, yes. And what will happen is that even if she, like, because it's a work in progress, even as she's in her masculine and she's working on her femininity, she could actually draw in the masculine. But then he begins to clash with her because of these masculine traits that she hasn't quite got there yet, and it will repel him. So it's not a case of the masculine man has to learn to do something different, or the feminine man has to learn to do something different. If he's in his authentic, natural self, it's all good. This is all to do with attraction. It's no different from me putting on a red coat. If you like red, you're going to come to me. If you don't like red, you're going to be repelled by it.
Do you think society as a whole has changed as how men and women interact, because we're in this digital landscape? And you know, a lot of people date online, a lot of people not even seeing each other, so it's easy to be whoever you want to be on the other side of that keyboard, and people are not getting out as much as they used to. Now they just put up a profile, you like my profile, which when it comes to men, I mean, oh, you pretty. You know what I mean? That you need more than you pretty, and vice versa. A woman be like, "You're right," and a woman be like, "Oh, he's handsome," but not like, you know, in the older times where people actually go out, communicate with each other, get around people, and see how it goes down.
Yeah, that is the best method. I mean, even if you do meet somebody digitally online, I mean, when you actually do meet together, I mean, again, energies don't lie. You know, the mask comes off and you get to see that person for...
Can't fake that energy. Can't fake that energy.
Right. Yeah. For who they are. Yeah.
So as we go forward, what is the best way for women, you know, because there was I was listening to a little documentary, and it was talking about the mixed match of Asian women in their country, that is so that they have to have meetups where they can find a husband, because they're saying there's a shortage of men, and et cetera, et cetera. Do you think there's a shortage of men and good men in America, London, wherever you're at? Do you think there's a shortage of...
I don't think
where did that come from?
Yeah, I don't think there's a shortage of good men. I just think, like, you know, I could bring out the best in you, Benny, and you could and another woman could bring out the best in you. It's about personalities at the end of the day. Yeah.
So where did this myth come from when women say there's a shortage of good men?
I don't know. I think it's an excuse for them
not finding someone.
Yeah. Or not finding the type of man that they want. You know, one that's going to allow them to relax, one that's going to allow them, a man who's perhaps in their provider energy. But the reason is, it's because you're in your provider energy and you're clashing with him.
So when you're helping and coaching women through this process, and while we are on that, how can women find you online? Where can they find you?
Yeah, so my website is www.valerieacampbell.com. And of course, they can always listen to The Secret Vibe, courtesy of Bishani Radio. If you type that into Google, it'll come up. And I also have a WhatsApp group called the Ladies Conscious Dating Group, because it's all about intentional dating.
Wow, they got WhatsApp groups now? They got whole WhatsApp groups?
Yeah, we talk to each other. We talk to each other as women.
Wow, that's interesting.
We share on a more intimate level.
Now I'm going to WhatsApp and see they get these WhatsApp groups. So when you're working with women to help them heal, what is some of your strategies and techniques in helping?
Okay, so the Secret Vibe is an acronym for vision, intention, belief, and expectation. And vibe is actually also short for vibration. So it's all about your vibe. So a woman, in terms of the acronym vision, she has to be really clear on what is it that she wants. But in order for her to know what she wants, she has to really know what she wants, not what everyone is putting on her or society's pressing on her. Like, who are you genuinely? And understanding how feminine and masculine energy works, so that you can then, from that place, knowing what you want, knowing who you authentically are, then setting an intention, which is the I. And now that you're now intentional about what you want to attract in terms of the type of relationship, how you want to feel in a relationship, we now need to have the beliefs or the affirmations that support that intention. And this is where a lot of work has to be done, an undoing process to dispel beliefs that aren't in alignment with that intention. And once you're working on that, you just have that healthy expectation that you're going to attract the type of relationship that you want. So it's a fancy way of breaking down faith. And I think that as I guide women through, they begin to learn a lot about themselves. A lot of things drop away. There's a lot of moments, those aha moments, when they realize, oh, wow. Or when they implement a particular strategy and they get a particular reaction back. And it could be as simple as, you know, they're driving the car and they usually say to the guy, oh, turn, I think you should turn left here. I think you should turn right. It's all right. Just sit back, just let it go and just see what happens. Let's just see how that happens. Are you trying to straight down and just allow the feminine, just relax.
Are you trying to say, you know, just for the sake of the argument, just let your man get lost?
just
he'll find his thing. He got enough gas. Just let your man get lost.
Yeah. Just all right.
So
he'll work it out.
Tell me about this book right here. She's got that vibe, ladies and gentlemen. She's got that vibe that you see on your screen. Tell me a little bit about that. How to attract your boo by being authentically you. Man, let me try that again. She's got that vibe. The book. Attract your boo by being authentically you. Talk to me, man. What is that all about?
I actually have an updated version of that. Let me show it to you. Let's just grab a copy of that. And can you see it?
Oh, she's got that vibe. Okay. How strong independent woman attracts her Mr. Right. Okay.
Right. So that's the updated version of it.
Okay. I like that. All right. And that should be on the website, don't you think?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
That's him giving me a little dig.
Y'all got the old version. Y'all saw the old version. We got the new version right here. Well, how the hell we know you got the new version? Shoot. Okay, so where can this version be?
This is an interesting book. This can be purchased on Amazon. And, you know, Benny, I actually find that men find this particularly interesting because in this book, it has the 10 biggest mistakes women make that turn men off. Ooh, and and it's straight from the mouths of men, because when I worked with them, I would ask them a whole heap of questions and they would answer me. And when I knew that I was going to write this book, I did a survey, and you know, I had my Excel spreadsheet and I had, okay, I've got the most of the answers for this, and I put them in order, and that's how the 10 biggest mistakes. And there's also a bonus in here because I also put the miscellaneous mistakes in here. And I find that men find it interesting because they want to know, is it true? Is it true? And when they read it, they're like, okay, all right.
All right. So out of that 10, just give us 2, because we're coming down to the end of this wonderful conversation.
All right. So
you're having fun.
Right. So like one of them is sleeping on a first date.
Okay.
For women,
good. That's good. That's good or bad?
For women who are looking for a long-term relationship. And yes, I can hear some women saying, yeah, I did that, but there's always the exception to the rule. But I'm not talking about the exception. I'm talking about the rule, right?
Okay.
So sleeping on a first date, that's one of them. Another one is women comparing men to their ex-boyfriend or their ex-partner.
Mm. So
Uh,
let me ask you about
uh,
those two. Let me ask you about those two things right
mhm,
quick.
yeah,
And so when in fact, when they go on Amazon, they're just going to Google your name, or you're going to Google the title of the book, or how does that work?
yeah. They just go to Amazon,
Is the
just
link
type
on your
in.
website? Is your link
She's
on the
got that
website
vibe.
the new version?
Yeah, she just type. She's got that vibe.
Oh,
On
okay.
Amazon, or
All
even
right.
if you go through my website, it just means
You
that
should add it to your
I'll post it
website
to
so
you
people can go
direct.
right there and make sure
Yeah,
they get the
mhm,
right version.
yeah, yeah.
Let me ask you
They'll,
that.
they'll, they'll, they'll get this version if they apply
Oh, okay. All right,
by,
cool.
by that.
Tell your
Yeah.
webmaster to get busy.
hmm
Um, yeah. So sleeping on the first date.
hmm
I've heard people online say that, all right, you know what he want, you know what you want.
hmm
If you really feeling the person and you think it's gonna last, does it matter whether you sleep on the first date or the third date?
Right. Well, I've heard that many men say that, you know, like that it's that case of wanting something, but not really wanting the woman to give it to them so soon, because men love the thrill of the chase.
Hmm.
And if the man gets it too early, it's like, I wonder if she's like that with all guys.
Oh, so it's about, the perception that
Yes.
if you gave it to me this quick, how many other men you gave it to that quick?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you start worrying about the body count and all that type
hmm
of stuff. Is that what
hmm
you're saying?
hmm Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the second
Mhm.
one you gave us?
Let's just find one at random. Pursuing men.
Okay. What is that
Purs-
wrong or right?
Pursuing men. Again, that's about if a woman's pursuing a man, she is in her masculine energy.
What you did that she runs like that? Is that what I don't
That's
understand?
pursuing, right? That's
Oh,
pursuing.
okay.
Where's
Uh,
this relationship going? How comes you haven't called me? Bombarding him with texts. That is all doing energy. And yeah, you can only have the pursued or the pursuer. And women, you need to identify which bracket do you want to fall
It
in
is.
within. Yeah.
All right. That is amazing. All right. We're getting down to the last few minutes, and I appreciate you overstaying your visit because we was have some good conversation. We definitely got to have you back, especially when you bring your friend on. Lord have mercy. So, you
Prepare
know,
for some
so,
fire.
I
Prepare
hear that. So let me ask you this
for the
right
fire.
here
I'm a calm one.
in your final words. Give me your summary. Uh, the conversation was about, is the feminist movement hurting or helping? Give me an overview of what we talked about today.
Yeah, I would say, look, I when it comes to the autonomy of a woman, the freedom to be a woman, be a woman. And, you know, in a relationship, allow masculine and feminine energy to reign. Acknowledge that feminine energy is a superpower, just like masculine energy is a superpower. And it's not
Mhm.
something that should be diminished. And it's not about, being in competition with your man in the home. It's about the harmony of a relationship of your marriage. And it sets a good example for children as well, growing up in that environment, seeing how, the mother and the father are relating together in harmony. And then, of course, they then go on to do the same. So the feminist, yes, equal rights, I'm all for that, but just be mindful of the home. Don't listen to everything that you hear on the news, because destigmatizing divorce, I think I think that's just definitely heading in the wrong direction, and it's allowing women to actually think, well, okay, this is not working, I'm out of here, and it can
Wow,
lead
that's
to
terrible.
huge
So
problems.
in the next 5 to 10 years, where do you see relationships going?
Oh my
Are
gosh.
they getting
Where do I
better
see
or are they getting
it?
worse?
I think you got like truth workers like myself. We're doing our part. We're doing our part to slow down the process. The trajectory, the landscape of
Mm.
dating and relationship, especially with the movement of technology as well, is changing. And yeah, I kind of feel a bit of fear for it, Yeah, as
Really?
we move away from traditional values. I'm trying to remember that movie with Sylvester Stallone and Sandra Bullock. Do you remember when they wanted to make love and he was all ready to kind of get on with it? And then she put these devices in her ears and she said, "Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready."
Okay. No, I don't remember the movie,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm assuming it was good.
That's my door knocking.
That's your dog knocking?
My front door knocking.
Okay, you want to take a second? We're about to close it
Yes.
down. I'll go take a second.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us in another edition of the Bennie Randall Show. And one thing I want to be able to say is this. You know, I like to bring people on that can voice their opinion. No one person is all right. No one person is all wrong. But I believe having conversations about these things can open up the awareness. And if you have any thoughts, leave us a comment or email us at staff@bashani.com. We would love to hear your feedback on what you feel about this topic and any other topic that we talk about on the Bennie Randall Show. Because I believe it's your business to know and having a smart conversations, you know, when it comes to that. So I appreciate you all being a part of here and everything that we have to do. So I appreciate that. I think she is back from doing whatever she do. But Valerie, I do want to thank you for coming on the Bennie Randall Show
No, it's been a pleasure.
and whatnot. So people want to reach out to you. How can they do that?
Yeah, they can contact me via valerieacampbell.com or they can reach out to me on 07399.
Don't give you no. Do not
That's
give
that's the WhatsApp group number.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's the WhatsApp group number. It's not my personal
give
number.
your number out
It's
online.
my business. It's my business WhatsApp
All right.
group
You're
number.
gonna have some crazy people talking. Valerie,
I'm wiser than that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as it's that, and whoo, I be telling people, don't do that. You have a whole nother problem right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the
but,
WhatsApp group number is 07399787424.
Okay, and the name of the group?
Yes, it's the Ladies Conscious Dating Group. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they can go to your website, which is ValerieACampbell.com, right, as it's written on the screen. And reach out to us. And your final words.
Be mindful of that feminist movement. Like you said, is it hurting or helping? Just make up your own mind.
That was very eloquent. That was done very well. That was very demure. I just wanted to say that. I don't even know if I used it right. I just hear everybody do it on the internet. I appreciate you, Valerie, and thank you for being on the Bennie Randall Show.
Oh, a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, like always, it is my humble pleasure that you allow me into your hearts and your homes. And make sure you join us on another episode right here on YouTube and Bashani Radio as being a part of this wonderful, wonderful conversation. And if there anything you guys want to talk about or you want us to discuss, we will have no problem in bringing somebody on or maybe even inviting you to talk about that. I'm your host, Bennie Randall Jr., aka The Motivator. You can learn more about me at BennieRandall.com, or you can watch this in 4 episodes on YouTube at Bennie Randall Jr. And that's with an I-E and not a Y, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I love you, and you can't do nothing about it. Good night.